Welcome back, everybody, to some Out of the Park baseball. Should be afternoon, boss. Afternoon picks. Should be a really, really good game here today. We have got the 8-7 Chicago White Stockings, who are on the road. Remember, they are now a half game back in the National League pennant race. They are a half game back to, I believe, Fort Wayne, and they are going to be traveling to the current best team in baseball, the 12-2 Boston Red Stockings. Boston 3 games atop the American League, and won 11 in a row have the Red Stockings. It's up to Chicago to stop them if Chicago wants to keep pace with Fort Wayne. Huge game here today. Should be a great one. It's the 8th of July. We're getting into the guys. We're getting into the second half of it. This is like we're about ankle to shin deep in the second half of the season now for Out of the Park. I don't know if you guys know or not. I know we've been doing Out of the Park since last June, and it's now May. It's now March. But we're winding down this season. I mean, this is some pretty big games here in July within the save, and teams like Boston, have played 14. Yeah, they still got 16 to play, but other teams like Fort Wayne have played like 17, 18 games, and they don't have a ton left to play. So we're getting into this. We're getting pretty far into our season, right? On that note, um, this is actually going to be Chicago's 16th game of the season, which marks exactly their halfway point in this season so far. Boston, this will be their 15th game of the season, so one shy of their halfway point. So almost everybody is now at the halfway point coming into this game. And yeah, it should be a good one. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's get into your starting lineups, starting with the visiting Chicago White Stockings. Leading off will be George Betchel, the left fielder, batting 183, 8 RBIs this season. And then Everett Mills. This is also the first matchup, I believe, between Chicago and Boston this season as well. So it should be a good one. Batting second will be Everett Mills, the first baseman. 271 average with 6 RBIs this season. Levy Mayerly, shortstop, will be third. He is got 1 home run, 12 RBIs with a 348 average so far this season. Gat Stiers, the right fielder, will bat fourth. 2 home runs, 12 RBIs so far this season for Chicago. He's batting 339. It's cold again. I know. I'm a little bit chilly with the fan on here, but I have it on early because I know this room's going to get really hot over the course of this 12-hour stream. Right, Mark King is the catcher, batting fifth, 7 RBIs, 269 this season. Cherokee Fisher, the pitcher, will bat sixth. He's batting 433 with 10 RBIs this season. Charlie Hode, center fielder, bats seventh. 2 home runs, 12 RBIs so far this season, 270 average. Fred Waterman, the third baseman, will bat eighth. He gets the call up yet again. He's batting 500 through his 12 at-bats, 1 RBI so far this season. Sam Jackson, the second baseman, will bat ninth. He is batting 254 with 5 RBIs. But you're not wrong, Picks. It's getting really cold again. It's now like it's almost April. There's no need for this. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're a week into spring. It's April in 4 days. We don't need this cold, Give me the sun, give me the warmth. Although I'm so excited because golf season starts in 4 days as well. Golf season in Pennsylvania starts the 1st of April, so I'm very excited. You guys might see a few less weekend streams if I decide to go out golfing when it's nice. So, because that's my plan. 2 years ago I went golfing quite a bit. I played like 30 rounds that year. I think I finished with 33 rounds. Last season I played I think 6 or 7 rounds. That was all year. That was it. So my goal for 2026 is definitely get back into the swing of playing more golf because just being outdoors, exercising. I know a lot of people like golf, exercise, but genuinely, I also have a pull cart now, so I can walk, and I like walking as opposed to using an electric cart, mainly because it's a little bit cheaper, but also because it's better on the body. You know what I mean? But definitely, I think you guys are going to see weekend streams dissipate a little bit. Maybe only one of the 2 days because either I'll be at the Union unless we protest because the Sons of Ben are thinking about protesting picks. I don't know if you uh, know that or not. I actually did an interview. The Sons of Ben sent out an interview form they sent out a survey over the week, like Thursday or Friday, asking about our thoughts on the Tanner situation. How closely have you been following it? How much trust do you have in the union organization? How do you think it was handled? Do you think it was handled well? Do you think the league is at fault with any of it? And I basically told the Sons of Ben, like, I don't think the league has a ton of blame, but I think union ownership has a crap ton of blame. And I have absolutely zero faith or trust in the ownership group to make the right decision. And if the last part of the survey said, would you consider boycotting or protesting the ownership? And I said, yes, absolutely. And they said, what do you think the Sons of Ben can do to help push what do you think the Sons of Ben can do? And I said we should literally not show up to games. And I said I don't care about paying for the season ticket and not going to the game because there's some things that are more important than my money and football. And being a good person and doing the right thing is one of those. So I would be totally okay with buying the season ticket, still having the season ticket, and then just not showing and having the stand be fucking empty. And I think that would send a really big message. I think if you have an MLS home game and your supporter section is empty, I think that's a really big statement to make. So I respect it. Yeah. So I told them absolutely. I think I would be ready to protest or boycott games until they fire Tanner, because they were like, "What do you think the union should do? What would be the number one thing?" And I said, "The number one thing is fire him. Get rid of him. He does not belong he doesn't belong in football, let alone this organization." But yeah, they need to fire him, 100%. Outside can be nice. Listen, when it's a spring morning and it's like 22 degrees and it's sunny, or summer morning and it's like 22 degrees and it's sunny, fantastic. Right, let's go over the starting lineup for the Boston Red Stockings. But that's what's going on with the Sons of Ben. They're surveying their members right now on what the members want the Sons of Ben to do, and then the Sons of Ben are probably going to follow through. They said they have a meeting with ownership, a private meeting with ownership coming up, and the front office, and they want to know what the members think should be told to the front office. And I'm like, fucking fire Tanner. That's the only thing that you just absolutely fire him. So, right. Let's go over the starting lineup for the hometown Boston Red Stockings. First baseman Bug McAtee will lead things off. 400 average, 8 RBI so far this season. He's on a bit of a hitting streak. Shortstop Warren White bats second, 4 RBIs with his 357 average so far this season. Welcome in, Zig. Good to see you, brother. I hope you're well. Tom Carey, second baseman, will bat third. 353 average with 20 RBIs so far this season. Andy Leonard, left fielder, will bat fourth. He's on a hitting streak as well. 10 RBIs, 371 average for him. Al Reach, the center fielder, will bat fifth. 14 RBIs so far this season. 354 average for him. Tommy Beals, bat sixth, the right fielder. 11 RBIs, 375 average so far this season. Henry Kohler will bat seventh. 9 RBIs, 258 average so far this season. Joe Batten will bat eighth, the third baseman, batting 182 with 6 RBIs so far this season. And Asa Bernard, the pitcher, bats ninth, 427 average with 5 RBIs so far this season. First matchup for both of these pitchers against each other. For Chicago, it'll be Cherokee Fisher on the mound. He is 8-6 in 15 starts with 1 no decision. 1.79 ERA with a 1.24 whip. Asa Bernard takes the mound for Boston. He is 10-2 in 14 starts with 2 no decisions. 2.43 ERA with a 1.56 whip. And we are ready to go. I didn't even get the game time or the ground name or the wind. Bit foggy. Look at that. We got our first fog game here tonight. We are at the South End Grounds, pitch number 1. For this matchup here in Boston, Massachusetts. It's a 2:05 first pitch start, and we got ourselves a foggy game. We're ready to get underway. But first, let me let me go over here and get the first shout out going. If you guys aren't already following, give Raz a follow. Great FM streamer. Here he is down here playing FM 26. Trophy? Trophy? Is that the Women's Champions League there, Raz? Look at that. He's won it all except the WSL with Portman. I feel so. He's won the Champions Cup, which is like the Club World Cup for women, I think, and he's won the Women's Champions League. But he's not won WSL. Still, he's a really good football manager player. Go give him a follow if you haven't already. The great Raz DeBeer. Afternoon, Benny and Chad. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday, G and G. Good to see you, man. Hope you're well. Give me 1 second here. Oh, okay. We're good there. We're good. All right, cool. Let me go back over here. Right. Hey, Spyro. Hope you're good. Just finished my stream. Not you stream, bro? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, Spyro. Hold on. 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 Oh, you're in that. Hey, you're playing the FM. Let's go. Let's give him a follow. Guys, let's give Spyro a follow, shall we? Why is Twitch? Twitch is being a hold on. Twitch is like glitching the fuck out for me. Have I reached the follower limit? No way. No way. Okay. Okay. All right. Let me write this down. I've reached the follower limit on fucking Twitch. Spyro call. Okay. Let me write this down so I know to do this later. Because I'll have to unfollow people. Yes, there is a limit to the amount of people you can follow on Twitch. If you follow me, just unfollow. I did but I will, yes. But I have I've been on Twitch for 6.5 years, Sass, so I have a bunch of former CS streams who don't stream anymore. So, like, I'm going to have to make sure I go through the list and knock them off. There is a follow limit on Twitch of 2,000, I think it's 2,000 channels. So once you hit 2,000, once you start following 2,000 channels, it never tells you, but every time you click follow after you're following 2,000, it'll look like you're following, and then when you refresh the page, you're not following that channel anymore. So that's the issue I'm getting with you, Spyro. So I'm at the following limit. I'm going to have to go through probably tomorrow when I get home and go through the full list of who I'm following and just knock off the inactive Twitch channels. And then I'll make sure to grab your follow. But I wrote you down in my notebook, so I know to do that tomorrow. Right. If you guys aren't already though, give them a follow. Let's get them to 50. Let's get them to 50 followers. Right. I'll give you a shout out as well. Raz the Beer going to be our sponsor for the first inning. Welcome in, No Spire. If you have any questions about baseball at all, feel free to. Anybody has any questions about baseball, feel free to ask. Asa Bernard on the mound. South End's ground one in Boston, Massachusetts. Massive game here. 8-7 White Stockings. The 12-2 Boston Red Stockings, who have won 11 in a row. And here we go with the first pitch from Asa Bernard. That'll be fouled off. It'll be 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Grounded over to third. The throw on to first is in time, and that's one away. I didn't even think I was remotely close to the following limit. I guess that's when you touch multiple communities, I always say that. When you touch multiple communities, I meant to get Lulu tabbed up, by the way, because I got a go live notification that she's live. So let me just get her tabbed up real quick. but yeah, I didn't even think I was remotely close to the following limit. But yeah, bop, 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 and bop. Right. Here we go. So she's tabbed. Uh, Here's the first pitch now to Everett Mills, who settles in. One down, nobody on. And that is on the outside corner for a called strike. Tag me if needed. Thank you, Sass. Appreciate you, bro. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Everett Mills. He has ripped that right back to center. Diving catch. She's got it. What a diving play. Second baseman Tom Carey leaps to his right, and he manages to pick that ball out before it hits the turf. What a diving stop by Tom Carey, and that's 2 away. That brings up Levy Mayerly, the shortstop. First pitch to Mayerly. Check swing, but it's in there for a called strike anyway. It's 0-1. Big matchup between these two. Chicago can regain joint possession of the National League lead by a game if they win. Boston already 3 clear in the American League. What a great day these are playing on. Yeah, I know, right? That's called strike 2. Yeah, a bit of fog. They added dynamic weather like this for Out of the Park 27, which I really like. So, there's the 0-2 pitch. And he's popped it up. Shallow center. Shortstop's there. He makes the grab, and the side is retired. They go down in order here to start the ball game. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. We go bottom first. No score. Bob McAtee will lead things off for Boston. I don't know if I'm going to get through it was 110 years before they were actually born, but hey. What do you mean? 110 years before they were actually born. Thank you for the lurk, Coach. I don't know if I'm gonna get through the bottom of the first and the top of the second in 20 minutes. So we are gonna take the full 3-minute break to start. That'll be the first ad break. We'll be back with more in 3 minutes time. welcome back. Bottom first here in Boston, no score. And here comes Bub McAtee to lead things off. Cherokee Fisher on the mound for Chicago. And we are going to be underway. Here's the first pitch to McAtee. That's way inside, ball one. The 1-0 pitch to McAtee. And he has popped this up into that right at the left fielder. Left fielder's there. He's got it. And that'll be the first out of the inning. Right. Warren White is the next man up. The shortstop. Timestamp 204. But I appreciate you. I'm going to grab that. Timestamp 204. You're the best, man. Kava's awesome. 204. You got it. Right. Always bet on Bub. Here's the first pitch to Warren White, and he's popped this one up. First pitch, pop up right to third base. Third baseman's got it. That is going to be, thank you, Kava. I appreciate it, man. That is going to be the second out of the inning. Tom Carey, second baseman, is the next man up. Nobody on, 2 out here. First pitch to Carey. And Carey check swings, but it's in there for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. First pitch, too. That's off the plate away. It'll be 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Fanned at and missed. 1-2 the count. Here's the 1-2. Way inside. 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. That's considered high. Ball 3. 3-2. The count is full now to Tom Carey. Here's the payoff pitch. And that is lined right back at Cherokee Fisher. He's got it. And the side is retired. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. We go top second here in Boston. No score. 4, 5, 6 spots due up for Chicago. It'll be Gat Stiers to lead things off. New inning, new sponsor. Lewitt Gaming is an awesome football manager streamer. Give them a follow if you haven't already. Part of the network Save with Raz. The great Lewitt Gaming sponsors today's second inning. Gat Stiers settles in. Asa Bernard back on the mound. Now we're ready for this second inning. Here's the first pitch, and that's fanned at and missed. 0-1. Here is the 0-1 pitch to Gat Stiers. That is lined, that's popped up. It's going to be into right, base hit. And Stiers is aboard with a leadoff single. That brings up catcher Mark King. King is got a runner on first, nobody out. First pitch to him from Asa Bernard. And he's lined this into left, and that is a fair ball. And it's back-to-back singles. Going to second base will be Gat Stiers. And 2-1, nobody out here for Chicago to start the second. Here's Cherokee Fisher, the pitcher. First pitch to Fisher is high, ball one. Here's the 1-0. Off the plate away, 2-0. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And that's grounded over to third. On to first, in time to get the lead runner. Hang on one second. There we go. So 5-3 on the putout. Yeah, 5-3 on the putout. King goes to second. Stires is on third. And there's 2 on, 1 out now. That'll for Charlie Hode, center fielder. Here's the first pitch to Hodes. He's chopped that foul. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Check swing. They're going to ask third base. The umpire there says he held up. 1-1 to count. Here's the pitch. And that is lined into right. Right fielder coming in, but he's not going to be able to cut it off. And Charlie Hodes has got an RBI. Hodes has got an RBI single. King goes to third, and coming in to score is Gat Steyer. Chicago take the lead. That'll bring up Fred Waterman, the third baseman. Runners on the corners and 1 out. Throw over to first, and Hodes is back safely. Here's the first pitch. Grounded foul. 0-1 to count. Here's the pitch to Waterman. That's high, ball one. Here's the 1-1. And that is popped up in center. That's going to be caught, and it's too shallow. They cannot tag the runner up. And so it'll be 2 outs now. Second baseman Sam Jackson settles in. Here goes the first pitch to Jackson. And that one catches the outside corner for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Jackson. He's lined that into left, base hit. And Jackson delivers. RBI single for Jackson. Hodes goes to second, and that brings Mark King home. Chicago make it 2-0. Skull, how are you, Skull? Hope you're well, man. I'm doing all right. I'm a little bit I was a little bit sluggish this morning. Mainly because, like, I haven't slept well all week, and last night I actually got great night's sleep, but it's one of those ones where it's like residual. After 4 out of 5 nights where I didn't get good sleep, I'm like, yeah, FM after OOTP. I think it's at the very end of the title. I think I put, at the very end of the title, I think I put TLS after OOTP. Yeah, I did. So, yeah. All right, George Betchel, the next man up. He grounded out his last at-bat. Here's the first pitch to Betchel. And that one is just going to catch the outside corner. 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And that's grounded over to short. They're going to go over to first. That's in time. And the side is retired. 2 runs on 4 hits. And they leave 2 aboard. We go bottom second here in Boston. Chicago has jumped out to a 2-0 lead. 4, 5, 6 spots for the Red Stockings due up. Andy Leonard will be the first man up. Yeah, when you get good sleep, it's like, why do I have to wait? Yeah, exactly. That's how I felt. I slept in a little bit. Like the alarm went off at 8:30. I fell asleep at like 11:30, and the alarm went off at 8:30. And I decided, nah, I'm going to roll over and sleep. And I did till about maybe like 10 o'clock, 10:30. Decided to roll out of bed at 10:30. I have leftover pizza, so I had a slice of leftover pizza. Get me some caffeine. I had the Yogi throat comfort tea ahead of the commentary, today. So just all sorts of like self-care stuff, the way it be. And then decided, all right, now I'm ready to get on. So, right. We're going to take a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. Weekends you should have no alarm, no. Maybe, but I got 5 hours max each. Can't sleep. Benny, Bobby. Well, the thing is, you may be right, but I want to stay on a consistent schedule so that I can eventually the idea is that I want to get on for early so I can get off early. Man, space. Is he okay, Bobby? I hope he's okay, man. Let me know he's okay. But yeah, I got surgery. Oh, okay. So he's spaced out from the anesthetics. You got it. But yeah, but he's good. Good. Glad to hear he's good, man. But yeah, it's one of those things where I don't want to. I could sleep in genuinely, Skull. I could sleep into like 11, but I have to be up at like 7:30 on the weekdays usually. So it's like that. There's too much of a gap between 11 and 7:30 that it would fuck up my sleep schedule. I have to usually for me, if I want to sleep in on the weekends, it's 1 hour, and to like 8:30. That way I don't completely throw my sleep schedule for the week off. So anyway, we're gonna take a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. Skull, thank you for the 7-stream watch streak. I end up being up all night during the week and get up to do my work at 6 a.m. and go for a nap at 11 to 1. Yeah, I'm the kind of guy, if I nap, everything gets thrown off. So, for me, the best thing for me to do is just, try to stick to a consistent schedule. So it's always in bed no later than like 11:30, up no later than 7:30, and just try to stick to that. And on the weekends, if I want a little bit more sleep, 8:30. But this week has been all thrown off because of just not being able to fall asleep. Right, Andy Leonard will settle in for Boston. First pitch to Leonard. And that is swung on and missed. It's 0-1. And no MLS this weekend because it's international break. Tell you last night when I got in my bed, it felt like heaven. You know what? When I came home from Italy, like when I first landed and whatnot, and I got home, that's what it felt like to me. Like I went to bed early at like 7 o'clock. Oh my God, did my bed feel nice. Especially because like the last hotel I was in Italy was so bad. And the hotel, I mean this by no offense, Skull, but the hotel that I was in Ireland was very, very disappointing. Even though I was only there for one night. Saves Benny the heartbreak this weekend. You're not wrong. But yeah, the hotel in Ireland was really, really, it was just agitating. The hotel in Ireland was really agitating. And the main reason is because the Wi-Fi was atrocious. But then if you wanted premium Wi-Fi, you had to pay like £5 a night. And I'm like, why do I have to pay for Wi-Fi? Like, the Wi-Fi should be standard. And it's like, well, it is standard, but there's premium Wi-Fi. This ain't a Netflix subscription. I'm checking into your hotel. You should give me Wi-Fi. That's the fucking trade-off, okay? You know? Like, the Wi-Fi was so bad. Like, really bad. So, but then the data reception was even worse. So I couldn't turn the Wi-Fi off and just use data because the reception was atrocious. So it was just like, this is awful. But, and then the bathroom in Ireland had that. Probably try to get money for the water bill. Yeah, exactly. Well, I think it's because they knew the hotel was right by the airport. So, right, kids are fed, and now I have 5-10 minutes to watch this amazing streamer. What's up, Raz? So I had to, and then the shower in the hotel was like that half shower where they put like half the wall of glass. I don't know why that's a thing in Europe. I'm sorry. But the last hotel in Italy and the hotel in Ireland both had that half glass shower where like, but it's not like a tub either. It's like a very low entry, you know? And then it's just like the glass comes halfway out. I'm like, why would you want this? Like, the entire point is to keep the water in the shower. Why is the glass halfway across the shower and not all the way across the shower? Or why is there no shower door? Like, that made no sense to me whatsoever. It was that way in the third hotel in Italy, and it was that way in Ireland. And it just makes no sense to me. And they're like, well, you can stand deep in the shower. And I'm like, I get that, but try a hotel in Munich where you shower. If you're with someone, they can see everything in bed. That's wild. That's genuinely just wild. Like, Europeans make fun of us Americans for the style of our stalls in the bathrooms. Totally fair criticism. We have the same criticism for the way your bathrooms are over there. They make no sense whatsoever. None. The first hotel I had in Italy, it was a sliding door, and it slid shut, and it was fine. It was just a little bit small because it's built for Italian people, and Italian people are not big. The second hotel I had dual sliding doors that came together in the middle. That was fine, and I had enough. I had enough room. What's up, Chuck? But the shower in the third hotel and the shower in Italy the shower in Ireland made no fucking sense whatsoever. It's just like loose sexton. Oh my God. Right. How you doing, Chuck? 0-1 pitch to Andy Leonard is taken off the plate away. 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Grounded over to first. Pitcher's coming over to assist. He's there in time, and that'll be the first out. Batter up. What's up? Chilling right now? Nice, man. Yeah, we're chilling on stream today. This is going to bring up Al Reach. Loving this. We do a lot of commentary on this. We did hockey the last 2 nights. We do baseball as well. And occasionally you're going to see some Unreal Tournament as well on this stream. Al Reach settles in, center fielder. How's the commentary? Good. It's been a good game so far. We're only in the second inning, though. First pitch to Reach. And that one is going to catch the outside part of the plate. It's 0-1. Good. We did 2 hockey games last night, and I forgot to record the second one. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's high, ball 1. It'll be 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And that is waved at and missed. It is 1-2 now to Al Reach. Nobody on, 1 out. Here's the pitch. And that one's off the plate away, 2-2. Have you seen the movie Bad News Bears? No, but there used to be a Counter-Strike team called the Bad News Bears. And I kind of missed that team because they had amazing social media. They would always make their news posts to be like a newspaper. So like whenever they like played a match, they would create this like graphic that was like an old-time 1910s newspaper, and it would be like extra Bad News Bears play tonight. You know what I mean? And then it would have their lineup news on the left, and then it would have the opponent's news on the right, and then it would have like the league standings and stuff. It was really, really well done. It was so well done. But no, I've not seen the actual movie. They would post the results the same way too. They'd be like, Bad News Bears gets by, you know, team in 3 maps. It was really good. It's a baseball movie with Billy Bob Thornton managing Little League of Misfits. So funny. Nice. Here's the 2-2. And that one's fouled off. It'll be 2-2. I had a clip of Field of Dreams hit my Instagram the other day. I was like, oh, God, I haven't watched that movie in so long. Sandlot as well, I believe it's called. Here's this one's ripped in the left. That is a fair ball. That is a fair ball. And Al Reach gets aboard on a single here in the second. Yeah. Both movies have James Earl Jones in it, I'm pretty sure. Sandlots and Field of Dreams. Although Field of Dreams' main character is Kevin Costner, if I remember correctly. It's been way too long. Here's Tommy Beals, the right fielder. 1 on, nobody out. First pitch to Beals, and that is going to just get by the catcher. That's a pass ball. Going to second base for free is Al Reach. By the way, Spyro, if you're new here and you don't wonder why we keep looking down, I have a full scorecard going of the game right now. So we keep score. And this book has every game that we have done so far, all the way back to the April of the season. So I have about, I think, 4 games left on this scorecard. And then I gotta bring out the second book. So I have the same thing for hockey. I have 2 hockey saves. I have 2 hockey scorebooks for the hockey saves. So I did wonder. That's dedication. Yeah, it's great. Was the Field of Dreams game IRL just a one-off thing that the MLB did? They do it every year now, so it's not really like one-off, but it's a one-off game every season. Yes, that's really cool. I think it's really cool. So, but yeah, they do a one-off game at the Field of Dreams IRL every year. Here is the 1-0 pitch to Tommy Beals, and that one is taken low for a ball, 2-0. No worries, I'll try to pop in even if it's just lurking. I told Spyro I gotta follow him, but I can't right now because I'm at the following limit. That one's high and away, 3-0. Here's the 3-0 pitch. And that is taken on the outside corner. It's 3-1. No, just kidding, but seriously, I'm supposed to be lurking. Stop it. Thank you for the lurk, Chasing Lehman. Appreciate it. All right. Here's the 3-1. That is taken right on at the knees, and the count runs full. 3-2. Here's the pitch. He's popped it up in right field. It's drifting foul. It's going to land in the seats. We'll do it again at 3-2. The beard is going to go, by the way, for those that aren't aware, next week, this week, actually, I think. Is it this week? Coming up? Yeah. I have a barber appointment this week, and the beard is gonna go. You're gonna see clean shaven Benny again. No. Yeah. Here's the 3-2, and that is popped up at the in foul territory. First baseman's there. He's got it, and that's 2 away now. Hashtag save the beard. It's got to go. It's got to go because the following Wednesday, I actually have an event I need to be in Philadelphia for. My dad is being celebrated by the FOP, Fraternal Order of Police, because he's been a member of them for 50 years. So for those that don't know, my dad was a police officer in Philly for 21 years in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And he's been a paying member of the FOP since he started. And they're honoring him in 2 Wednesdays' time in Philly for 50 years with the FOP. So we're going to that event. What's up? Right. Hey, Gadava. You would never have guessed. What is that? All right. Bit foggy day in Boston. It is, Gadava. Welcome in. How are you, man? Here's the first pitch to Henry Kohler, and he's going to take that for a ball. It's 1-0. Yeah. You want to know the crazy thing, Lamely? If you look up statistics for Philadelphia, they're not in the 70s and 80s. They're not very good. He worked North Philly, which anybody that knows anything about North Philly knows it's one of the worst, if not the worst. It's statistically the worst area of the city of Philadelphia. He worked it for 21 years. He never fired a bullet. That's his proudest statistic as a cop. He's so proud of that. But yeah, he worked 21 years in North Philly. You thought South Philly was the shit area? No. North Philly and West Philly are the 2 worst areas. We'll be lurking, watching Iceland again against Canada in football. Sounds good, KXJ. Thank you for the lurk. Good luck, brother. But yeah, you're way too chill to have a cop dad. Are you supposed to be uptight, traumatized in military school and shit? My dad's pretty chill. So I am so sick of that meme. Here's the 1-0. That is fouled off. 1-1. But yeah, here's the 1-1. Ripped into the gap. That's going to be a base hit. And Kohler's got a single. Going to third base will be Al Reach. And runners on the corners now. 2 outs. Joe Batten settling in, third baseman. First pitch to Batten. That's off the plate away, 1-0. I went to I think the other thing, well, that's a meme. Look at me down with the kids. Here's the 1-0. And that's taken high, 2-0. Where's the skateboard, Lamely? Where's the skateboard? I bet next time I come to your stream, there better be a skateboard that you got. Here's the 2-0. And that one's going to catch the outside corner for a called strike. It's 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. And that one catches the outside part of the plate. 2-2. Here's the 2-2. And that's fouled off. Still 2-2. But no, South Philly has some bad areas, Kadava. Like University City can be bad a little bit. But the worst areas, the 100% North Philly and West Philly are really bad. Like Cobb's Creek, Strawberry Mansion area, like that. Those areas are really, really bad. And then the neighborhood that literally is North Philly. Like North Philly isn't the region of Philly. There's a neighborhood that's known as North Philly, and that is also particularly bad. I just had a funny in my head. Also, I don't know where my skateboard is. I haven't been on one in years. I think my sister stole it. Where I live in Coventry, UK is bad, getting worse weekly. That doesn't seem. I mean, I would never have guessed Coventry, but yeah, those are genuinely the worst areas of Philly. Is northwest and north, comma west, comma, and like Strawberry Mansion, Fairmont a little bit, and Cobbs Creek, that kind of area is usually the worst. So, is the link in South Philly? The link is in South Philly in an area called Whitman. Um, but that area is not too bad because it's so industrialized. So Whitman is right next to the river, and the river is that part of the river. It's all the shipping docks, like the big dock of Philadelphia and all the car docks. There's a huge port. It's the port. The port of Philadelphia is right next to Whitman, and then there's also and in that port they have all the shipping containers, but they also have all the car dealerships that import cars. So like Hyundai and Kia are two big importers of cars at the port of Philadelphia, and they're right there by the stadiums as well. So the security down there is usually super tight because if you know anything about, I don't know if anyone knows this when they import cars, whether it's the UK, whether it's the US, whatever, but there's no way to keep track of the keys that go to each individual car. So when cars get imported, they have to leave the keys in the car. So if you drive down to the docks in Philadelphia, the port, behind all the big gated security, there's just lines and lines of cars in a parking lot. They all have the keys in them. So they have to keep security tight so nobody steals them because they're literally brand new cars. So like that area is right next to the stadium. So you have all the big sports stadiums in one area and the port right next to it. So security is real tight. So usually Whitman's not too bad because there's just so much going on down there business-wise. But yeah, and cars were stolen with a lot of keys are in ready to go. Yeah, exactly. That's how they keep track of them. So there's really no other way to do it. Here's the 2-2, and this one's fouled off. We'll go again at 2-2. The 2-2 to Joe Batten is popped up in right, and the catch is made, and the side is retired. No runs on 2 hits, and they leave both men on base. We're going top third here in Boston. It's a 2-0 game. I somehow never been to the link. Oh, wow. I've never been to the link either. Can you believe it? I lived in Philadelphia for 18 years. I have never been to the link. I've only been to Citizens Bank Park, the Wacko Center, and I have been to the Spectrum as well before they tore it down. Right. 2, 3, 4 spots due up for Chicago. Everett Mills will be the first man up. We are going to go to a shout-out, though. Pixelated Suits is an awesome Colombian-American streamer. Give him a follow. Here he is playing skate. Oh, what's this? Ooh, nice. Go on, Pix. He plays a bit of everything. He's playing Fallout 76. Ooh, that's nasty. He's playing Fallout 76, Skate, Fallout New Vegas, Football Manager. Give him a follow if you haven't already. Pixelated Suits sponsors today's third inning. Mossman! It's great to see you, Mossman. BRB, sounds good. Same amount of work, keys at left in cars, so our security is hot and have the smash barriers so you can get out. I have driver's permit, so could run away with one. Oh, my God. Why would you post that in chat? The link is on my wish list of stadiums to go to. It's a nice stadium. But, yeah. It's, I love Citizens Bank Park. Like, you guys, Citizens Bank Park, you should make a trip. If you're going to go to Philly, get yourself a Phillies ticket and go to the bank, man, because it's an incredible stadium. I'm doing well, man. Thank you for the follow, Wasted Height. Welcome in. if you want explanation of what we're doing, we're in the 1871 season. We're commentating through the 1871 season. We do everything here. We commentate out of the park, we commentate out of the park, franchise hockey manager, NHL 2K6, and Unreal Tournament. I also play games like Football Manager, Action Time and Squad, Dead or Alive Extreme Venus Vacation, Rise of Nations, the F1 Racing Series, and Hearts of Iron 4. So we play a little bit of everything on here. Football Manager is coming later this stream after the baseball game as well. But welcome in. Great to have you, dude. Thank you for the follow. Mossman, I'm doing great, man. It's been phenomenal. I mean, when you consider I've been to a couple miles away, it's definitely weird. It's what, a half-hour walk from the 2300? I don't know about the walking time on that one, to be fair. I lived in Northeast Philly when I lived in Philly, so I wasn't even down in South Philly very often. My high school was in Logan, which is right next to North Philly, or it's near North Philly. But yeah, my high school was in Logan. That's a little bit of a rough area, Logan Olney section, but not too bad. But it can be a little rough. Usually you don't have the gun crime and at there. Usually you get usually it's robberies and muggings in Logan and Olney. But like Strawberry Mansion, you get the homicides and the armed robberies, and you'll get the home invasions and stuff like that. That's the scary shit. That's the really scary shit. Right, here's Everett Mills to lead things off. First pitch from Asa Bernard here in the third. That one is inside, ball one. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's high and in, ball two. 2-0 to Everett Mills. Here's the pitch. He's caught one. That's caught the outside part of the plate. It's 2-1. I bet your dad has some cool stories from back in the day, though. Probably make for a great book or something. He's told me some interesting ones. One of the ones he did tell me, and he was actually put in the newspaper back then for it, is they were called to a domestic dispute, him and his partner. They were called to a dispute, a domestic dispute. They get there, and the mother is hysterical, and the father has got the baby, and the father, they're on the third floor, I want to say, and the father is ready to throw the baby out the window. So my dad's partner tells him, go catch that thing. And his partner went into the apartment to try and stop the father. Did not stop the father in time. The father tossed the baby out the window, and my dad caught it on the street, and the baby was totally fine. Yeah. So that was one of his many stories. So, but him and his partner were put in the newspaper, like a photo of them, because they saved the baby. So, yeah. But he's got some rougher stories than that. Like that's mild compared to some of the stories he's got. Here's a 2-1. That is high and in, 3-1. I mean, he did it for 21 years, so he's walked into a few homicide scenes that were not fun, and he's got stories of those, and those are always difficult to listen to. Here's the 3-1 pitch, and that's taken for a called strike, and the count runs full, 3-2. 3-2 to pitch to Everett Mills, and he has popped this up. Shortstop right there under it. He makes the catch. And that's one down. That'll bring up Levy Mayerly. He popped up to the second baseman his first at bat. First pitch to Mayerly. And that one's taken off the plate away, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And he offered at that one, 1-1. There's the 1-1 now to Mayerly. And this is popped into left. That's deep. That's back there. That's off the wall. And Mayerly is going to have himself a double. And there's a runner in scoring position for Chicago here with just one out. Nice. What are you streaming, Chuck? What are you streaming this weekend? This will bring up Gat Stiers. He's singled in his last at bat. First pitch to him, and he's ripped this into right, but it drifts foul. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And that swung on and missed, 0-2. Oh, could be something special if Grimmy comes through. Nice. Here's the 0-2. That's below the knees, 1-2. Here's the 1-2. And that is ripped right at the third baseman. He's got it. Throw goes to the shortstop as the runner is back in time. 2 down now. That brings up Martin King. He singled his last at bat. First pitch to King is taken on the inside part of the plate for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fanned at and missed. 0-2. But yeah, question about OOTP, dude. I see you went back, but for example, I could be interested in like a mid-90s Minnesota. Yeah, literally every season is loaded in with all the historical data between 1871 and 2026. You can pick any season. So there's people that do like the 1940s Brooklyn Dodgers. There's people that pick up like the 90s Braves, or whatever you want, you can do. It's got and it's got all the historical players. So these are all real life players who played in the National Professional Baseball League back in 1871. They're not on the same teams because I set that setting, but you can make it so that players are stuck on their historical teams. You can make it so that players are allowed to move to different teams that were not historically on. You can make it so their development paths are completely random. Whatever you want. It's great. Right. Here's the first pitch to Mark King. And that one is taken high for a ball. It's 1-2. Dude, I was thinking of doing a twin save to salvage the last years of Kirby Puckett and get one more World Series before he retires at 96. Thank you for the lurk, Skull. That's a sick save idea, dude. That's an awesome save idea. Oh, yeah, I've got to save with the 96 Yankees. Boo! Boo! I'm teasing. I'm enjoying the period accurate scoreboard. Listen, you got to remember, they made this because essentially back in 1871, there was no stadiums. They just played in the fields, right? So you're not going to start seeing accurate stadiums till like 1907, 1901, like literally Major League Baseball era. So here's the 1-2. That's grounded over to second. The throw on to first is in time, and the side is retired. No runs on one hit. They leave that man on base. We go bottom third. It's still 2-0 Chicago. The 9-1-2 spot's due up. It'll be Asa Bernard who will lead things off for the Boston Red Stockings. We're going to take a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. All right, welcome back. Bottom third here in Boston. Asa Bernard settles in. Back on the mound is Cherokee Fisher. Here's the first pitch to Fisher, and he's just going to take that right down Broad Street for a strike. It's 0-1. There's the 0-1 pitch. And that's lined into right, but drifting foul. It'll land there. 0-2 the count. The 0-2 pitch to Fisher. Off the plate for a ball, 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Check swing. They're going to ask third base, and the appeal's turned down. He didn't go, says the first base umpire. So 2-2 to count. Here's the 2-2. And that's popped up. Bernard was early on it. He pops it up right behind second base. Shortstop's over there. He makes the grab, and that's one away. Back to the top of the order in Bub McAtee. He flat out to left his first at bat. First pitch to McAtee. And he's lined that foul down the first base side. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fouled again. 0-2 now. Here's the 0-2. And this is ripped into left, but that one just gets caught up by the wind and goes foul. Here's the 0-2 again. That's high. 1-2 now. The 1-2. Inside, 2-2. That was a tough pitch to lay off, but he did it well. There's the 2-2 now. That's fouled off. Still 2-2. This one's lined right at the third baseman. He's got it. That was absolutely smoked at the third baseman. But Fred Waterman puts both hands around it, and that's 2 away. Here's shortstop Warren White. He popped up to the third baseman his first at bat. First pitch to White. And he's going to take that high for a ball, 1-0. 1-0 pitch to White. Ripped down the left field line and fair. And that is going to be a single for Warren White. He's aboard here with 2 outs. That brings up Tom Carey. He lined this one right back to the pitcher his first at bat. 1-2 out here in the bottom third. First pitch to him. And he's grounded this right back. That takes a big Baltimore hop, and he is safe. There's no play. There's no play. Really big Baltimore hop on that pitch. And Jackson can't get in time to make the play. And now there's 2 on with 2 out. You bet on Edmonton, Anaheim, and Columbus, San Jose. Oh, boy. Who'd you take in both? I take it you took Columbus and Edmonton. Here's the first pitch now to Andy Leonard. He grounded out his first at bat. And that's off the plate away, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. He offered at that one, 1-1. How you doing, by the way, Sooth? I have a new sport to follow. The season just started IRL as well. The Phils, actually, that's a really good question. What are the times today for the baseball games? That's a really, really good question. So first game is at 2:15. That's Tampa at St. Louis. Washington and the Cubs. Washington at the Cubs is 2:20. Athletics at Toronto is 3:07. Minnesota at Baltimore is 4:05. Texas at Philly is 4:05. Boston at Cincinnati is 4:10. Pittsburgh at the Mets is 4:10. Colorado at Florida is 4:10. Uh, Anaheim at Houston is 7-10. White Sox at the Brewers is 7-10. Kansas City at Atlanta is 7-10. The Yankees at San Francisco is Kansas City at Atlanta is 7-15. And Yankees at the Giants at San Francisco, that's 7-15. Detroit at San Diego is 8:40. Arizona at the Dodgers is 9:10, and Cleveland at Seattle is 9:40. So there's no free game of the day. Damn it! Where's the Phillies one? Is it on TV? Yes, it's on NBC Sports Plus. Okay, cool. Right. I'm fine. I'm getting ready for my ex's birthday party. Best friend. Nice. Nice. Enjoy. Here's the 1-1. That one's taken for a called strike on the outside part of the plate. It's 1-2. I'll mainly be watching the Phils game. I don't think I get coverage anywhere else. It makes no sense for me to buy the MLB TV subscription. Because MLB TV is like, you can watch every game with some blackout exceptions. And I'm like, the blackout exceptions literally are Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Washington, and Baltimore, because I live in the mid-state. So it's like, if they all play on the same day, then technically, counting their opponents as well, 8 of the 30 MLB teams are going to be blacked out. Plus, MLB is going to black out any game that's nationally syndicated. So there's 2 today. So literally, if I buy the MLB TV subscription on a day like today where everybody's playing, 12 of the 30 MLB teams will be blacked out. And I'm like, what's the point of buying a subscription then? What is the actual point? MLB's not done a good job. They've made it as hard as possible to watch the league this year. Iceland 2-0 Canada. Nice, KXJ. Well done. Here's the 1-2. That's inside 2-2. The 2-2 pitch is popped up in foul territory. That one's going to go back to the seats, though. Two again. High, ball 3. The payoff pitch. Fouled off. We'll do it again. Here's the payoff pitch. This is grounded over towards second. The throw on to first is in time. And the side is retired. No runs on 2 hits. They leave both men on base. We go top 4th here in Boston. 2-0 Chicago. So you put Edmonton, Anaheim ending 4-0, 5-1, 4-1, 5-1, 4-2, or 5-2. And Columbus, San Jose 0-3, 1-3, or 0-4, or 1-4. Nice. New ending means new sponsor. Ziggurath is a really awesome, first off, human being, but also an amazing streamer. Euro Truck Simulator, football manager, does a little bit of everything. He had a Baldur's Gate 3 save going. He plays a little bit of Arc Raiders. He's also played like Satisfactory on stream before. Really cool dude. Give him a follow if you haven't already. The Great Ziggurath sponsors today's 4th inning. You even got a semi-local team, the Birmingham Baseball. Nice. I did not mean to go to outreach. Here we go. 4th inning underway. The 6, 7, 8 spots due up for Chicago. Cherokee Fisher, the first man up. He grounded out his first at bat. Here's the first pitch. And any of those on each game, I have to hit to get the win. Nice. That one's taken high for a ball, 1-0. Good luck, man. Here's the 1-0. That's a lined into left base hit. And Cherokee Fisher, the pitcher, gets aboard here to start things in the 4th for Chicago. Oh, and it's an error. It's an error in the outfield as well. Who was it? It was Fisher. No, that was Fisher. It's Leonard who tried to handle the left fielder. So left fielder Andy Leonard gets credited with the first error of the game, which plays in the National League. It's called the Birmingham Metalheads. That's really cool. You know, UK's got interesting leagues for baseball and ice hockey. Actually, I really like the ice hockey league over there as well. But here is the. I just wish that the time zones didn't suck to watch, and the NPB, the Japanese league, because that's a fun baseball league to watch. But literally, their 6 p.m. starts is like 5 a.m. for me. So they'll be on in the morning if you guys like the Nippon Professional Baseball. Like it's 5. They're on 5 a.m. for me. They're going to be on like 10 a.m. for you guys. And then on the weekends they have 1 o'clock starts. Those are just like they have 1 p.m. start. Those are just awful because that's like midnight for me. That would be 5 a.m. for you guys over in the UK. But indeed, Peter Cech played in goal for Oxford City Stars. Nice guy. Yeah, I like Peter Cech. I love the fact that he went over to hockey when he was done. So as well, hockey's just a fun sport. Nice, thanks a lot. Yeah. What was I going to say? I found a story in Duluth, right? Duluth, Minnesota. They're running this story for I can't remember, International Women's Day, which was like earlier this month. But they ran this story about this lady who plays ice hockey in a women's league. She is like 98 or 90 or 92, something like that. She's in her 90s, and she plays ice hockey on a women's team still in Duluth. And she's like, I've been playing ice hockey since, she played in college, and then that was it. There was no opportunity for her after college. There wasn't even like women's leagues, and all the men's leagues back then, when she was in her 40s, they didn't accept women. And then as women's ice hockey, as the narrative started to change about women's sports in the U.S., women's ice hockey started to take off in the 90s, and a league formed, and like she applied, or maybe it was like the 80s or 70s when the women's league first formed there, but she joined, and she's been playing hockey for like almost 50 years in Duluth. It's been amazing. We also had Dennis Rodman play for Birmingham Bears in the British Basketball League back in the day. That was weird. Yeah. We have ice hockey team in Coventry. Blaze, nice. Ice hockey's a great sport. So fast-paced. And so it's just entertainment. Hockey is entertainment. Here's the first pitch now to Charlie Hodes. He's going to take that for a called strike. It's 0-1. I love football first and mostly, don't get me wrong. Premier League, MLS. But my second sport would be baseball. My third would be hockey. Pretty sure that Milan Lucic plays in England nowadays. Milan Lucic. Oh, the hockey player. Right? Nice. Sorry. Our hockey league used to be televised back in the day. I assume it still is somewhere. Nice. Former Oiler. Yeah. I just spilled fucking soda on me. Hold on. We have a footballer on the Union called Jovan Lukic, so it took me a minute because I saw Lukic and I didn't put one and one together right off the bat. Good job, Benny. Try and open your mouth when drinking. I'm like Stryker from Airplane. Ever since I developed my drinking problem. You know? What's up, QC? How you doing, man? Oh, no, I got it on the scorebook. Fuck me. Oh, my God, I've done so well. I've not gotten a drop on the scorebook through 40 to 50 games, and now I got it on the fucking scorebook. It's only at the bottom, so that's a part I don't really use unless Boston tears through 5 pitchers, but still. Right. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That is ripped into left. Is that going to stay fair? No. It just drifts into the seats. It'll be 0-2. Here's the 0-2 now. Check swing. They're going to. All right, lot to unpack here. It's a check swing. It's a passed ball, so Cherokee Fisher goes to third. Fisher asks third base. Third base umpire says he didn't swing anyway. It's 1-2 now. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Off the plate high, 2-2. Here's the 2-2. That is absolutely ripped back to deep center. Catcher's there, or center fielder's there. He makes the grab, but the runner will tag up, and that is an RBI sac fly. And Fisher tags up. That makes it 3-0 Cleveland. Games from the EHL are on YouTube, apparently. Nice. I'm just happy the EHL is still going because I remember watching the EHL like years and years ago. So hockey is really a fun sport. I know it's not. I know a lot of UK people don't watch hockey, but literally, if you had to put if you put a version of football on the ice in the wintertime, hockey is that sport. You know what I mean? There's just hitting and fighting involved in it. And who doesn't like to see both of that? Right, one out here. Fred Waterman settles, and he flied out to center his last at bat. And here's the first pitch to him. He's grounded that back over to short. The throw one to first, that's in time. 2 away. It's a pretty simple sport, hockey. You only really need to know offsides. And this is why I need to properly introduce you to Gaelic football. So I have a friend in Armagh who showed me it. And we've watched a few games together. It is interesting. It's not something I could sit down and watch all the time. I feel the same way about Aussie rules football. No offense, Gaddafi, if you're still here. Aussie rules football, great sport. A lot of fun. I don't think I could sit through a season and watch a season year after year after year after year. You know what I mean? It doesn't hold me enough. Here's the first pitch to Sam Jackson. He hit an RBI single his last at bat. Rain is beginning to fall here. First pitch to Jackson, and he swung on and missed, and it's 0-1. Armagh is a bad choice. Listen, that's where he's from. So, yeah, that's what most of the kids do in Finland. Football in summer, hockey in the winter, and some of them do both. I don't blame them for doing both. I used to play deck hockey in the winter, and deck hockey is basically hockey but in an indoor rink without ice because obviously it wasn't cold enough. And it was a rec center league, so the basketball court doubled as the hockey court. But you just played in your sneakers, and then when you got to like age 12, when you got to age 12, you started on rollerblades. But I never played on rollerblades. I always played up to 12, and then I just stopped playing. But I used to play deck hockey in the winters, and then football and baseball in the summers. Why do you say Armagh is a bad choice, by the way? Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's high. 1-1. He can't help where he's from. He's a good lad, though. Here's the 1-1. That is popped up into right, shallow right. Right fielder comes forward a few steps. He's got it. And the side is retired. 1 run on 1 hit. And the bases were left empty. We go to the bottom of the 4th. 3-0 Chicago. 5, 6, 7 spots due up for Boston. Al Reach will be the man to lead it off. We're going to take a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. Welcome back. Yeah, that's Armagh are traditionally not great at the football. Fair enough. Okay. No thanks. I'd rather not take an allergic reaction. Sorry. That's mainly just for me, Sooth. But fair enough, man. You can't pick your county. Every other county is a bad one then? Fair enough, G&G. Bottom fourth. Outreach up to the plate. Cherokee Fisher on the mound. Here we go with the first pitch here in the bottom fourth. That's high and away. Ball one. The 1-0 pitch. Grounded over to short. Shortstop's got it to throw one to first. That's in time. One away. That'll bring up Tommy Beals. He popped up to the first baseman his last at bat. I forgot to snap this morning, and now I need to save all my streaks. So, say hi to Snapchat, everybody. Say hi to Snapchat, y'all. We're doing the baseball. So, and we got the score sheet going as well. Yeah. Boop, boop. Done. I got some really good streaks going on Snapchat, man. I only have 4 streaks on Snapchat. 417 days, 1,529 days, 1,861 days, and 2,674 days. That's what I got going on Snap. Right. Here's the first pitch to Tommy Beals. He's fouled that off, 0-1. Here's the 0-1. And that's caught the inside corner. 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's high, ball one. The 1-2. Grounded over to first. It just trickles foul. We'll do it again at 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. Inside, ball 2. 2-2 now. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Grounded over the first. This one stays fair, and he beats the throw. He's beat the throw. Tommy Beals hustles down the line and gets an infield single. That'll bring up Henry Kohler, the catcher. He singled his last at bat. First pitch to Kohler. And he's going to take that for a called strike. It's 0-1. 1-on-1 out here. Bottom fourth. Boston trailing by 3. First pitch to Kohler is popped, or the 0-1 to Kohler is popped up deep center. Catch is made, and that is 2 down now. By the way, gang, for those of you here, little tiny announcement. Little smidge of an announcement. The emote artist reached out to me the other day, literally last night, after their stream, and gave me the rough sketches of the new animated emotes we're getting. They look incredible. They're going to be really good, I think. She gave me like a storyboard sketch for them since they're animated. Oh, they look good. So look forward to that. They're going to take a few months because she's got a lot on her plate. She's currently finishing a graphic commission, meaning like a graphic art piece. Not like a character art. She's finishing a character drawing from a January commission. And then I think there's like 5 other people ahead of her. But I think overall there's like 7 or 8 clients I saw ahead of me. But 3 to 4 of them are not fully paid. I was checking her board. So we should be getting them sometime in the spring, I think. This will bring Joe Batten settling in. He flied out to right his last at bat. Throw over to first, and Beals is back safely. Throw over to first, and Beals is back in time. Here's the first pitch. That's high and inside, ball one. Here's the 1-0. Swung on and missed, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch is taken inside, ball two. 2-1 now. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That is high, and that gets away. Tommy Beals goes to second. That's a pass ball. And it's 3-1 now to Joe Batten. Hitter's count. Here's the pitch. And he has ripped this into left, and that is a base hit. And that's going to be some huge bases. A throw over to third, and Batten is safe. He's got himself an RBI triple. Tommy Beals will score. It's 3-1 now. That brings up Asa Bernard. He flied out to the shortstop his last at bat. He takes the first pitch high and away for a ball. Fans getting into it now. Signs of life for Boston. The 1-0 is shot into center. Center fielder's there. He makes the grab, and the side is retired. 1 run on 2 hits, and they leave 1 man left on base. We go top 5th here in Boston, Chicago with a 3-1 lead. The 1-2-3 spots due up for Chicago. George Betchel, the first man up. New inning means new sponsor. FMG&G is an awesome Irish football manager streamer. Really good streamer, by the way. Also does some amazing YouTube content with his Job List of Greatness safe. Give him a follow if you haven't already. FMG&G sponsors tonight's 5th inning. Right, George Betchel settles in. He's 0 for 2, first pitch to him. And he's grounded this over to short. The throw on to first is in time, 1 away. That'll bring up Everett Mills. He's 0 for 2 so far today. First pitch to Mills. And that's high, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. The hot dogs are on me this inning. Max 1 per person. Thanks for the shout out. You're welcome. Here's the 1-0. And that's inside, 2-0. Are you sponsoring Dollar Dog Night? Is that what you're doing? We have a thing here called Dollar Dog Night, and hot dogs are usually $1. Well, the Phillies used to run that promotion. Now it's half off. Now it's buy one, get one half, which is just not a good promotion. But, yeah, they used to do Dollar Dog Nights. And they stopped it because what was happening was people were buying a bunch of hot dogs, and then they couldn't finish them. So they would stand up in the crowd, and they'd be like, who wants these hot dogs? I can't eat them. And some guy like 4 rows away or something would be like, yeah. So they would start chucking them at each other, just so that the hot dogs didn't go to waste. And the Phillies looked at that and said, no, we can't be throwing food. And I'm like, come on, man. Here's the 2-0. That's ripped into center, base hit. And Everett Mills is aboard. So 1 out, 1 on for Levy Mayerly. He is 1 for 2 so far today. First pitch to Mayerly is hit into the gap, into left, base hit. And Mayerly's on. That moves Mills to second. And there's 2 on and 1 out. Isn't a dollar dog horrendously expensive in 1871? You're not wrong, actually. You know what the ticket price is for I'm managing Rockford Chasing lately. And the nice thing is that they actually have an accurate economy, based on the error. So the money scales up and everything as years go by. You know what the ticket price is for the Rockford Forest Cities in 1871? Take a guess. How much does it cost to come watch a game of professional baseball in 1871 in Rockford, Illinois? That's going to bring up Gat Stiers. First pitch to Stiers here. He's going to take that right down Broad Street. It's 0-1. Stiers 1 for 2 so far today. Anybody want to take a guess? Take a guess. What is the ticket price for the Rockford Forest Cities in 1871? Take a guess. The 0-1's taken right down Broad again. 0-2. $2 way too high. 2 cents way too low. I'll give you another guess before I reveal it. Here's the 0-2. And that's taken inside 1-2. G&G are really, really close. The answer is just looked at the hot dog at Coney Island in 1871 cost 10 cents. The answer is 12 cents. 12 cents. That is the ticket price in 1871. Here's the 1-2. That's fouled off. Still 1-2. The 1-2. And this is ripped into right, but into the seats, foul. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's high, 2-2. When I had an offline save where I was managing Troy, and their tickets were, I think, 11 cents. But yeah, that was the cost. Somewhere around 10 to 12 cents a ticket for baseball. Here's the 2-2. That's fouled down the third base side. Stays 2-2. Granted, if you want a seat down the, let's say the third base side, halfway down the third base side, like somewhere over here in the foul territory, and you're like 20 rows back, it'll cost you $70 at the Phillies now. $70. And back then, 155 years ago, it was 12 cents. Parksy! What's good, Parksy? I'm well. How are you, man? Here's the 2-2. That's fouled off. Still 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. And it fouled again. Still 2-2. The 2-2. Inside, ball 3, and now the count is full. Yo, good. Thanks, mate. Nice, man. Bored without football? Here's the 3-2. And that's fouled again. I am. I mean, MLS isn't on, and neither is Prem. Ninth pitch of the at-bat. Here's the 3-2. Check swing. They asked third base. No swing. And it's ball 4 for Gat Stiers, and the bases are loaded. Tough at-bat for Stiers, but he's done well. And he's loaded them up. As a Newcastle fan, currently I'm okay with the break for my mental health. I get that because, honestly, we are played 5, lost 5 at the Union. It's just an ugly scenario in Philadelphia right now. Mark King settles in. He's 1 for 2. First pitch to King. And he's fanned at that one and missed. It's 0-1. Big opportunity for Cleveland here. They can really put some separation ahead. If Edmonton beat Anaheim 5-0, Columbus lose San Jose 3-0, I'm getting over 20K. Nice. Thank you for the lurk, 10th Shadow. Appreciate you, brother. Here's the 0-1. That is fouled off. 0-2 now. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Inside. That's going to get by the catcher. Is that a wild pitch? It's a pass ball. Catcher Henry Kohler struggling. Going home is going to be Everett Mills. He scores. Going to third will be Levy Mayerly. Going to second is Gat Stiers. And Chicago has made it 4-1. Here's the 1-2. And that's ripped foul. It just goes foul. We do it again at 1-2. 1-2 pitch to Stiers. He's fouled that off again. 1-2 still. Here's the 1-2. He's popped it up. Shallow center. Shortstop's back there. He makes the grab. And that's 2 away. Cherokee Fisher settles in. He's 1 for 2. First pitch to Fisher is inside, ball 1. The 1-2. And that one's taken for a called strike. It's 1-1. The 1-1. And Fisher has lofted this into center. Center fielder's there. He makes the grab, and the side is retired. They only get 1 run off 2 hits, and they leave 2 men aboard. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It is 4-1 Chicago. We're going to take a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. Welcome back. Bottom 5th here in Boston, foggy Boston. 1, 2, 3 spots due up. Bug McAtee ready to lead things off for the Red Stockings. He's 0 for 2 so far today. First pitch here to McAtee, and he has fouled that off. Here's the 0-1. That's high and away, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch is fanned at and missed, 1-2. Here's the 1-2. That's taken off the plate high, 2-2. 2-2 pitch. Grounded back to the mound. Throw over to first. That's a bad throw. Oh boy. Disaster. Cherokee Fisher is going to get credited with the error. And that is an E1 for Bub McAtee. He gets to second base on the error as well. And now runner at second, nobody out for Boston. Warren White is the next man up. He's 1 for 2. First pitch to White. It's raining, raining, raining. The rain has stopped. The delay has lasted 34 minutes. Here's the first pitch to White. That's high and away, 1-0. We need to get through this inning for the game to be considered official. That game is off the plate 2-0. Or that ball is off the plate 2-0. The 2-0. That's fouled off, 2-1. Games are considered official when the home team is leading after 4.5 innings or the away team is leading after 5. Otherwise, any game that gets called prior to that must be replayed in its entirety. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's fouled off, 2-2. Thank you for the alert, Kindo. Appreciate you, bro. The 2-2. Off the plate, 3-2. The 3-2 pitch. That's grounded over to short. The throw on to first is in time, 1 away. That'll move McAtee over to third. He's 90 feet away with 1 out. Here's Tom Carey. He's 1 for 2 so far today. 1 out and a runner on third. That one is lofted in the air into right. Catch is made. Is he going to tag up? It does not look like it. They did not tag. McAtee is not tagging. And that means 2 outs now all of a sudden for Andy Leonard, who's 0 for 2. Here's the first pitch to Leonard. That's grounded over to second. The throw to first, that's in time, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, and they leave 1 man on base. We go top 6 in Boston. Chicago's got a 4-1 advantage. 7, 8, 9 spots due up. Charlie Hodes will be the first man up. New inning, new sponsor time. Spyro's a brand new Football Manager streamer. Go give him a follow. Let's get him to 50 followers. And let's see if we can break that 50 follower mark for him. He's just had a Football Manager stream today. Just started streaming, I want to say, this week. Or at least earlier in the week. Go give him a follow if you haven't already. Big shout out to Spyro, who sponsors today's 6th inning. You're welcome, Spyro. Welcome to the FM community, my man. Great to have you. I can't wait to do the same. Right. Asa Bernard still on the mound. Charlie Hodes settles in. He's 1 for 1 so far today. Here's the first pitch to him. High and away, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. That's below the, that's going to catch the corner. Umpire said it was right at the knees. It looked below the knees to me. But ump calls it a strike. And it's 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's lined into left, base hit. And Hodes has got a leadoff single here for Chicago. It'll be Fred Waterman settling in. He's 0 for 2. 1 on, nobody out. First pitch to Waterman. He takes that right down Broad Street for a strike. It's 0-1. Oh, look, the fog has lifted. No more fog here in Boston. Here's the 0-1. And that's fouled off. 0-2, I should say. Welcome to the community, dude. Just giving you a follow. Feel free to give me a whisper if you ever need anything. Yeah. If you ever have questions about OBS as well. No, I don't know anything about Streamlabs. There's people out there that use Streamlabs. I don't know anything about Streamlabs. But if you use Stream Elements or just base OBS, I've been working with that for 6.5 years. I could tell you anything you need to know about it. Well, maybe not anything, but I could tell you a lot if you have any questions about OBS. Here's the 0-2. That's inside, 1-2. Thanks, guys. It means so much. Absolutely, man. Welcome in. You're not going to see me streaming FM 26 though, unfortunately. I'm still on 23, but I do have an FM 26 save coming in April. There's a 1-2. That's fouled off. It'll be 1-2 still. Here's the 1-2. That's fouled off again. Still 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. That is ripped in the left. That's going to drop, base hit. And Waterman's got a knock. It'll be first and second, nobody out for Chicago. Roxy! What's up, Zegon? How you doing, man? Sam's good to see you, Zegon. Sam Jackson, 1 for 2, settles in now. 2-1, nobody out. Here's the first pitch to Jackson, and he's going to take that on the outside corner of the plate. It's 0-1. Just woke up. What time is it for you? Here's the 0-1. That's high. 1-1. A 1-1. Rip back down the center. Base hit. Going to second is Waterman. Hodes is held at third, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. George Betchel settles in. Mexico and Portugal later on. Nice. Betchel's 0 for 3 so far today. Here's the first pitch to Betchel. He's fouled that off, 0-1. The 0-1. He's going to take that on the outside corner, 0-2. Here's the 0-2. Fouled off, stays 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. That's lined right at the first baseman. He's got it. And there's one away. He was not holding the runner on the bag, so had that been lined at him and he was at the bag, he could have tapped the first base for the second out. But one down, bases loaded, and that is Everett Mills settling in. He is 1 for 3 today. First pitch to Mills. And he's going to take that on the outside corner for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Off the plate inside, 1-1. Florida from first period, 2-0 to second period, 2-2. Fuck the Panthers. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's high and away, ball 2. Here's the 2-2, or the 2-1 I should say. That is fouled. No, it's not. It's swung on. All right, so he swung on the ball, but it gets by the catcher. It's a passed ball. Coming in to score is Charlie Hodes. Going to third on the passed ball is Waterman. Going to second is Sam Jackson. So it's a called second strike on the swing. but the run comes in when the catcher failed to handle the ball, and that is Chicago taking a 5-1 lead. Here's the 2-2. Off the plate. No, he's got strike 3. He struck him out looking. It's a backwards K. If you guys don't know, that's how you write strikeout looking. Strikeout swinging is that, and strikeout looking is that. That'll bring up Levy Mayerly. He's 2 for 3 so far today. 2 down. Runners on second and third. First pitch to Mayerly. He's fanned at it. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That is going to catch the outside corner. 0-2. Here's the 0-2. That is high. Ball 1. 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. That's fouled off. Still 1-2. The 1-2. Off the plate away. 2-2. A 2-2 pitch to Mayerly. He's popped it up. Drifting into the seats and left. It'll land foul. Here's the 2-2. Chop foul, and Mayerly's still alive here at 2-2. A 2-2 pitch. And that one's high, ball 3. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Inside, ball 4. And Mayerly draws a walk. USA, Belgium, and Edmonton, Anaheim starts at the same time. Edmonton, Anaheim's going to be the one to watch there. I'm hearing sports talk. What's up, Gouter? But understand nothing of it, but hope you're well and I'll be lurking. Sounds good, Gouter. You could always ask questions if you guys don't understand baseball. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Gat Steyer is the right fielder settling in. He is 1 for 2 so far today. Here's the first pitch. That is right down Broad Street for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Fouled off, 0-2 now to count. Here's the 0-2. That is ripped into right, and that's going to be base hits, and that's going to be runs. Gat Steyers is delivered. He's going to third. He's got a bases clearing 3 RBI triple, and Chicago's blown the game wide open. Scoring is Charlie Hodes. Scoring is Fred Waterman. Scoring is Sam Jackson. Scoring is Levy Mayerly, and it is now 8-1 Chicago. Reckon we should start a petition to get Benny on the BBC MLB coverage. They do an awful job of explaining the game. We need you to be the baseball version of Mike Carlson. I'm down. I'm definitely down. I don't know if I would explain it well. But I would be at least a knowledgeable play-by-play, that's for sure. We're going to have a pitching change. Boston are going to make a pitching change. You know what it is? Maybe it's just me. Okay? But I do dislike it when every game has to have an explanation in it. And I'll tell you what I mean in a second. Hold on. What I mean is, when I was watching NBC's coverage of the Olympics, which I still am watching, NBC, obviously the American broadcaster for the Olympic Games, right? I'm watching the mixed doubles curling tournament, okay? And there's two things that they kept explaining every single, and I mean every single game. And that was the 22 minutes of thinking time that teams got and what the power play was. Now, if it's the Wednesday before opening ceremony and the Thursday and the tournament's taking place, fine. If it's the Saturday after opening ceremonies and the tournament's taking place, fine. I'm on like the Monday after opening ceremonies now, right? And I watched the bronze medal game. I haven't watched the gold yet, but I watched the bronze medal game from the mixed doubles curling tournament, right? And they're explaining like, well, each team gets 22 minutes of thinking time, and if the clock runs out, they lose the game, but they also get a timeout. So, and I'm like, I don't need you guys to explain that because it's the bronze medal game. If you haven't got that by now, you're not going to get it. You know what I mean? Like, this is the bronze medal. This is literally the end of that tournament. I don't need you to explain the rules of curling during the bronze medal game. I need you to explain the bronze medal game and what's going on to me. You know what I mean? If it's group stage and it's first 2, 3, 4, even 5 rounds of the 9-round group stage, I totally get it. I totally get it. But if it's the bronze medal game, like, we're past that now. You either understand what's going on or you don't. Come back for the men's and the women's tournaments if you don't understand what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, that's what, like, it annoys me that the airtime is constantly filled up with explanations of the sport of cricket. Like, it's been in the Olympics since the 90s. We've had, like, 4 days of the tournament already. You should be up to speed. You know what I mean? And it's like, some people are going to look at that and say, yeah, but these people might not have tuned in by then and blah, blah, blah. That's not on the broadcaster to help them, though. You know what I mean? In my opinion, it's not on the broadcaster to help them. Like, you either tune in because you're interested or you tune in. Like, nobody explained cricket to me. I had to constantly watch cricket and read about cricket to understand cricket. You know? They tend to use the MLB Network commentary on the game, then just fill with random presenters who understand the game but explain it badly for newcomers. Iron Mike, though, used to be the pundit for the NFL on Channel 5, and he did an amazing job of making sense to people who knew the game and explaining it to newbies without making anyone feel excluded or like an idiot. He's truly a gold star broadcaster. Fired up. Thank you for the lurk, FM on side. Appreciate you, bro. Right, we got a pitching change. James McDermott settles in for Boston. Asa Bernard goes 5 2/3. Here's the first pitch from McDermott, and this one's popped up right at the shortstop. He's got it, and the side is retired. 4 runs on 4 hits, and they leave 1 on base. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 8-1 Chicago. We're going to take ourselves a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. All right, welcome back. Bottom sixth. Outreach settling in to start this inning for Boston. It's the 5, 6, 7 spots. Outreach is 1 for 2 so far today. First pitch to Reach. That is right down broad, 0-1. Here's the 0-1. And this one's fanned at and missed, 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. And that's fouled off. It stays 0-2. Here's the 0-2. Off the plate away, 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. And that one's popped up right at the shortstop. He's got it, 1 away. That'll bring up Tommy Beals. Beals is 1 for 2. First pitch to Beals. And he's fanned at that one, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And that one is called on the outside corner for a strike, 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Inside, ball 1. 1-2 now. The 1-2. Check swing. They're going to look at third, and they're going to look at first, and the umpire there says he didn't go. 2-2 now. The 2-2. Grounded over to short. The throw over to first. That's a bad throw. That is an E6. And that is shortstop Levy Mayerly getting credited with the error. Beals gets the second on the throwing error, and now 1 on with 1 out. Henry Kohler settles in. He's 1 for 2. Throw over the second, and the runner is back in time. Here is the first pitch. That is fouled off, 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. High, ball 1. Here's the 1-1. That's high, ball 2. The 2-1 pitch. Waved at that one, 2-2 to count. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That is high, and that gets by the catcher. It's a pass ball. Going to third for free is Beals, and the count is now full, 3-2. Here's the 3-2. That is ripped down the line at first. The pitcher gets over there. He makes the play. 3-1 on the putout, and that holds Kohler at third. Or that holds Beals at third, sorry. And now Joe Batten settles in. He's 1 for 3 so far today. Runner 90 feet away with 2 outs. Here's the first pitch. He's grounded that back to second. The throw to first is in time, and they get out of the inning without any damage. No runs, no hits, 1 man left on base. Top 7th here in Boston, 8-1 Chicago. 6, 7, 8 spots due up. Cherokee Fisher will be the first man up. Coach Zanko is an awesome FM streamer. Here he is playing FM. Oh, what a goal. Oh, what a goal. What a goal. Go give him a follow. He's the king of the youth only save. Also part of your network save with Zikarath and Bubba McGinty. Give him a follow. That is a great finish. Give him a follow if you haven't already. The great Coach Zanko is our sponsor for today's 7th inning. Here's Cherokee Fisher to lead things off. McDermott on the mound. And the first pitch is waved at 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That's lined foul into the seats down left. 0-2 to count. Here's the pitch. Grounded over to third. The throw one to first is a bad throw. That's an E5. McAtee gets, I'm sorry, it's a catching error, not a throwing error. Bub McAtee's accredited with it. And so Cherokee Fisher is aboard via an E3. That'll bring up well, we're gonna have a substitution. Bill Kelly will settle in for Charlie Hodes. First pitch, Kelly fouls that off. Hodes finishes 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs. Here's the 0-1 to Hodes. He's popped that up into the seats. It'll be 0-2. The 0-2 inside 1-2. Here's the 1-2. And that one's taken away. 2-2 now. The 2-2. High and in. Ball 3. Here's the 3-2. Walked him. Ball 4. And Bill Kelly gets a walk. That moves Fisher to second. And now first and second with nobody out. Here's Fred Waterman, the third baseman. He's 1 for 3. First pitch he fanned at, 0-1. Here's the 0-1. He's taking that right down Broad Street, 0-2. Here's the 0-2. Off the plate, away, 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. Off the plate inside, 2-2. Here's the 2-2. And this is ripped into right. Is that going to stay fair? Yes, base hit. And Waterman has got himself an RBI double. Chicago make it 9-1. Going to third is Kelly, and coming in to score is Fisher. And Waterman's got second and third now. Or I should say it's Sam. It's going to be another substitution. This will be Bill Barrett settling in for Sam Jackson. Jackson finishes 2 for 3 with an RBI. Here's the pitch. And he swung on and missed. That's 0-1. Barrett just 5 at-bats this season with 1 hit. Here's the 0-1. It's grounded over to second. Oh, and it's a fielding error. It's an E4. The ball was fumbled by second baseman Tom Carey, who gets credited with the error. Scoring is Bill Kelly. Waterman goes to third. And Barrett's aboard on an E4. That brings up another substitution. Ed Mincher will settle in. Here's the first pitch to him. He swung on and missed. That's 0-1. Runners on the corner, still nobody out. The 0-1 pitch is off the plate away, 1-1. The 1-1. Fanned at and missed, 0-2. And here comes the 0-2 pitch. One, two. Off the, called strike three. And he struck him out looking. That brings up Everett Mills. He's 1 for 3. Runners on the corners. 1 out. That one's inside for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. High, ball 1, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. That is on the outside corner for a strike. 1-2. The 1-2. And that's high, 2-2. 2-2 pitch. Fouled off, still 2-2. Here's the 2-2. That's grounded over to third. They go to second for 1. They only get the runner, the lead runner, and so it's an RBI fielder's choice. 5-4. So Mills goes to first. They threw Barrett out going to second, but coming in to score is Waterman, and it's 11-1. Apex ranked grind just finished. I don't know if I can come back later, but have fun. I'm going to go to bed. Have a great night's sleep, Pat. Take care of yourself, man. Hope you got those dubs on Apex, bro. Here's Levy Mayerly settling in. He is 2 for 3 so far today. First pitch to Mayerly is off the plate, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. And I got one most time the top 5. That's fouled off deep into right. I got one most of top 5. Nice, nice. Thanks for the 10-stream watch streak as well, bro. Get a great night's sleep, man. Take care of yourself. Enjoy your Sunday as well, if I don't talk to you. Here's the 1-1. That is called. Strike 2 at the knees. 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's popped up in foul territory. First baseman's there. He makes the grab, and the side is retired. 3 runs on 1 hit, and they leave 1 aboard. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It is 11-1 Chicago. Sunday is F1 day. Forza Ferrari. I'll keep this up then. Sounds good, man. Take care. We're going to take a break. It is the 7th inning stretch time. As always is our tradition. Here is Take Me Out to the Ball Game. We'll be back in 2 with more. Right, welcome back. It's bottom seventh here in Boston. 11-1 Chicago. 9-1, two spots due up for the Red Stockings. James McDermott will get his first look with the bat. His team trailing by 10. Love the sing-song. They play Take Me Out to the Ball Game at every Major League Baseball ballpark. Every game in the middle of the seventh inning. It's called the seventh inning stretch. It's a very time-honored tradition. They've been doing that since they've been doing that over 100 years at Major League Baseball parks. Here's James McDermott settling in. First pitch to McDermott to lead things off. He's going to take that high and away for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0 to McDermott. That is right. That is low. That is low. 2-0. We seem to have lost the crowd. So if I go box score and then come back, we get the sound reset. Right. 2-0 or 2-0 the count. Inside ball 3. Here's the 3-0 pitch. And that's called strike. It's 3-1. Here's the 3-1. Fanned at and missed. 3-2 now. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Grounded over to third. The throw on to first is in time. 1 away. We go back to the top of the order now. Bub McAtee, who is 0 for 3 so far today. First pitch to McAtee, and that's taken for high and in for a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. That's lined right at the shortstop. He fumbles it, and he can't hang on. That's going to be an error on Levy Mayerly, who gets his second error of the game. And that is an E6 as Bub McAtee gets aboard. If you don't know what the numbers mean, so for those that aren't aware of what E and when I say E6, what it means, or 6-3 on the put out, what it means, every position on the baseball diamond, when you're scoring a game, when you're writing up a score sheet, every position is assigned a number. The pitcher is always 1, the catcher is always 2, the first baseman is always 3. The second baseman is always 4. The third baseman is always 5. The shortstop is always 6. The left fielder is always 7. The center fielder is always 8. And the right fielder is always 9. Now what happens is, if a ground ball is hit to the second baseman and he throws it onto first for the out, we score that 4-3. Meaning second baseman picked up the ball, threw it to the first baseman, right? Second baseman is 4, third baseman is 3. So 4-3 is a ground out where the ball was hit to the second baseman, he threw it on to first. If the ball's hit right at the shortstop and he catches it, we usually write L6, meaning it was lined to the shortstop and the shortstop grabbed it. If it's popped up, we usually put P for a pop-up. So if it's popped up in, say, foul territory and the third baseman drifts over here, right here, and he catches it, we usually write P5. Popped out to the third baseman. If it's hit deep into center field and the center fielder catches it, we usually write F8. It's a fly out to the center fielder, and that's how baseball is scored. Nice. I popped in just in time for scoring with Benny. Let's go. It was good, Sean. Big shout out, by the way. I'm going to go add a line here to shout out Sean, because if you're really interested in Out of the Park Baseball and how to actually become a good manager in Out of the Park Baseball in franchise mode, if you like to play franchise mode, Sean is one of the best franchise mode players there are. So definitely give him a follow if you're into Out of the Park and you're into franchise mode. Here he is playing last year's edition. Oh, this was only a few weeks ago. Oh, the legend of Yamura. There it is. "68 home runs in the season." That Sean found one of the greatest Japanese prospects I think I've ever seen in Out of the Park. Absolutely tore the league up. He wound up nicknaming him Trogdor. So take notes and do the opposite of it. Brother, you won how many World Series did you win with that Pirate save? Right, this is going to be Warren Wright settling in. Runner on first, 1 out. An E, by the way, going back to the scoring, for those, an E means an error. And an error is always adjudged to a player when he is expected to handle the ball, but he does not. So if the ball's hit to the second baseman and he goes to pick it up and he fumbles it, it's an error. If the ball's hit to the shortstop and he throws it to first, but the throw is off the bag, like it's way off where it needs to be, it's a throwing error. If the ball's hit to the third baseman and he throws it to the first baseman and the first baseman drops the throw, it's a catching error, and all of it's scored with an E. So like an E5 would be an error on the third baseman. In Finnish Hockey League, games 5th period ended without a winning goal. What? Really? I'm curious, Sean, how many World Series did you win with that Pirates? You won 2, I think, right? At least 2. Here's the first pitch to Warren White. And that's a called strike. It's 0-1. 2 and 3 trips. And how many seasons? Did you get through 7 seasons, I want to say? Was it 7 seasons you got through? Here's the 0-1. And that's a called strike. It's 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And that one's low, 1-2. Or high, 1-2. Just tapped into season 9. Oh, so you got 8 seasons. So you made the World Series in 3 of 8 seasons and you won 2 of them. That's pretty good, dude. So, yeah, if you need franchise mode help, go give Sean a follow. Not to put that pressure on you, Sean. But still, you're one of the better franchise mode players. Here's the 1-2. That one's very high, 2-2. For those that are just joining in the situation, Chicago are a half game back of the National League pennant, which is led by Fort Wayne. They are playing the best team in baseball, which is Boston, who are 3 clear in the American League. 12-2 are the Red Stockings, the Boston Red Stockings, and they have won 11 straight. Looking like that streak might come to an end tonight. Here's the 2-2 to White. That's grounded over to third. Fair ball over to second for 1. Over to first, and it's a double play. 5-4-3 double play to end the inning. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. We go to the top of the 8th, and Chicago's got an 11-1 advantage. The 4, 5, 6 spots due up for Chicago. Gat Stiers is the first man to settle in for Chicago. New ending means new sponsor. Viva La Stam is an awesome FM streamer. Here he is playing last year's edition. We've all been there. We've all been there. We've all been there. He's a bilingual streamer. Give him a follow if you haven't already. The great Viva La Stam, an FM streamer. He's going to sponsor our 8th inning here today. James McDermott back on the mound for Boston in this one. Gat Stiers settling in. He had a bases clearing 3 RBI triple his last at bat. He is 2 for 3 today. First pitch 2. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's Nate Birkenstock. They're going to sub him out. They're going to do another sub. So Stiers finishes 2 for 3. And now it's Nate Birkenstock settling in. That one's going to be a called strike to start the at-bat. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And that is popped up into left. Left fielder back there. He makes the catch in deep left, and that'll be the first out of the inning. That brings up Mark King, the catcher. He's 1 for 4 so far today. First pitch to King. And that's a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Inside, 1-1. How you doing, by the way, Sean? Hope you're well, man. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And that one's taken at the lettering, 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That is ripped right at the shortstop. He's got it. And that is the second out. Cherokee Fisher, the pitcher, settles in. 1 for 4 today. First pitch to Fisher. And he's going to take that for a ball, 1-0. There's the 1-0. High again, 2-0. Doing okay. Just a nightmare at the office the past few nights with the server that we need for just about everything working out, wonking out every 20 minutes. That sucks. That's brutal. Here's the 2-0. That's grounded foul. It's 2-1. Are you working tonight or no? I don't know if you work weekends. Here's the 2-1. That's fouled again, 2-2. The 2-2. Popped up right at second base. Second baseman's there. He's got it. And the side is retired. Working from home tonight. Nice. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. We go bottom eighth. 11-1 Chicago. 3, 4, 5 spot due up for Boston. Tom Carey will be the first man up. We're going to take a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. Welcome back. Bottom eighth here in Boston. 11-1 Chicago lead. Tom Carey, the man in the batter's box. Still Cherokee Fisher on the mound for Chicago. First pitch to Carey. That's taken high, ball 1. You guys can still hear the music. There we go. Now you can't. Right. Here's the 1-0. That's high, ball 2. 2-0 now. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That is on the inside corner, strike one. The 2-1 pitch. Outside, ball three. 3-1 to count now to Tom Carey. Here's the pitch. And he's grounded that foul. It'll be full 3-2 now. The 3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. One away. Andy Leonard will be the next man up. 0 for 3 so far today. First pitch to Leonard. And he's ripped this into right, but high and playable. Right fielder's there. He makes the grab. And Leonard is sat down. That'll bring up Al Reach. He's 1 for 3 so far today. First pitch to Reach. That's taken high, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. Welcome in, Sal. Swung on and missed on that one, 1-1. How you doing, Sal? How you doing? I'm doing well, man. I'm doing really good. So, here's the 1-1. That is ripped into right. Does that stay fair? No, it does not. I'm good, brother. Good, man. Good to hear. Welcome in. For those of you guys that are coming in that are not part of the 9-inning sponsors that I have, you guys are going to get your shout-outs on during the Football Manager. Don't worry. Here's the 1-2. That is ripped into left, but drifting foul. That will land foul. Still 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. Popped up into the seats in right field. That will land. We'll go again at 1-2. Here's the 1-2. Off the plate away, 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. And that is ripped into left. Left fielder's coming in. He'll cut it off, but it's a base hit for Al Reach. And he is aboard with a single here in the 8th. 1 on 2 outs for Tommy Beals. He's 1 for 3 today. First pitch to Beals. Take it off the plate away, 1-0. The 1-0. Called strike on the outside corner. It's 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. High and away, ball 2. 2-1 to count. Here's the 2-1. Fanned at and missed. 2-2 to count. I feel bad. Like I want to turn the light on because the sun went into the clouds, but then when the sun comes out of the clouds, the light's not needed. So I'm sure I look okay on the camera. It's just I wish it was a little bit lighter out, a little bit less cloudy. Here's the 2-2. That's popped up, drifting into the seats in right. That'll land there. We'll go again at 2-2. But golf season is just around the corner. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I'm going to check the weather for next weekend, and if it's good, it's golfing time. Here's the 2-2. That's grounded foul. Still 2-2. Here's the 2-2. That's popped up into right. That's going to drift foul again. Still 2-2 to Beals. Here's the 2-2. Check swing. They're going to ask first base, and he says he held up. 3-2 to count now to Tommy Beals. Ball 4, and Beals walks. Tough at bat for Beals, but he draws the walk, and going the second is Al Reach. That'll bring up Henry Kohler, who's 1 for 3. First pitch to Kohler. He's fanned on that one, 0-1. 2-on-2 out here in the 8th for Boston. The 0-1. Grounded over the third. Fair ball. And it's bobbled and fumbled by the first baseman. That's an E3. And first baseman Everett Mills is credited with the error. That's going to load the bases. Joe Batten settles in, 1 for 3 so far today. First pitch to Batten. And he's going to take that on the outside corner for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Way off the plate. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Inside, ball 2. 2-1 now. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's grounded foul. 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Off the inside part of the plate. 3-2 now. Full count to Joe Batten. Here's the pitch. Grounded over to short. They go to first to throw from deep short. And he's got him, and that will retire the side. No runs on one hit, and they leave the bases loaded. We go top ninth here in Boston. 11-1 Chicago. 7, 8, 9 spots due up for the White Stockings. It'll be Bill Kelly to lead things off for Chicago. But first, new inning, new sponsor. Kavakam is an awesome out-of-the-park streamer. Here he is playing perfect team. Did the clip freeze? No. There we go. Is he gonna pack something cool? Is he gonna pack something big? I do understand that, actually. He's currently playing his WWE 2K26 universe, which I've actually created a character for, and they won their debut match, thankfully. So, but yeah, give him a follow if you haven't already. WWE 2K26 and Out of the Park baseball streamer, really cool guy, really awesome Canadian, the great Kavakam. Big shout out to him. He's our sponsor for tonight's ninth inning. Bill Kelly settles in. He walked his last at bat. First pitch to Kelly. People's Magazine's Sexiest Man Alive in 2008. Nice. Check swing, but it's called a strike anyway. It's 0-1. I'm going to say, if I remember that, I'm going to tell him that next time. I'm like, I didn't know you were People Magazine's Sexiest Man Alive in 2008, Kava. That one's a called strike. It's 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's lined right at the shortstop. Oh, he's fumbled it. And the shortstop fumbles Bill Kelly's liner. That's shortstop Warren White getting credited with the error. And now the leadoff man is aboard for Chicago. That brings up Fred Waterman. Waterman is 2 for 4 today. First pitch to Waterman. He's lined that into right. That's going to be 3 for 4. He's got a base hit. Fred Waterman, not the regular starter for Chicago. He's got himself a double. I beg your pardon. Or is that an error? No, it's an error. It's an E. Was that an E8? Was that the center fielder? It was the right fielder. So Beals gets credited with the error. It's listed as a single with an error on the outfielder Beals, allowing Waterman to go to second, and Kelly gets to third. 2-1, nobody out. Here is Bill Barrett. First pitch to Barrett. That's taken high for a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Barrett. That is taken on the out. Oh, no. How is that not? Where the hell did that miss? The year that Benny famously removed himself from consideration because it was getting embarrassing. 2008, I was a college student. And we were in the midst of the financial crisis. What a great time. I was currently running myself into $150,000 to $8,000 worth of debt. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That is fouled off. It's 2-1. Here's the 2-1. On the outside corner, 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. It's popped up. deep into right. And that one's going to land foul in the seats. Here's the 2-2. That's a line foul. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's high, ball 3. Here's the 3-2. And this one's grounded over to second. The throw on to first. That's in time. 1 away. Jesus, where'd you go to college, Harrods? Good evening, Pingu. Great to see you. No, I live in America. Lamely, that should explain everything to you. They did not tag up. The runner did not go on the play. And that'll be 1 away. That's going to bring up Ed Mincher. He struck out looking his first at bat. First pitch to him. Grounded over to third. On to first, that's in time. 2 away. The runner does score. So scoring from third is Bill Kelly. The runner on second does not move. It's 11-2. How you doing, Pingu? Y'all pay too much for college. It's scary. So the way the loans are structured is really what does it. So the college itself cost $54 and then $77. So the college itself costs $77,000. But then what they tell you is, or what the way the loan's built is, you don't pay any interest while you're in college full time. All the loans are deferred. So for 4 years, all those loans are just gaining interest. And then what they tell you, what they say is, if you don't pay all of that interest that's owed within 6 months of leaving college, all of that outstanding interest capitalizes on the loan. So I went from $77,000 to like $120,000. Well, I didn't graduate because I needed a 5th year because I was a dual major. So I was up to like $129,000 when that capitalized. And then what happens is, because I didn't have a degree, I didn't fucking get any job, right? What are your camera settings? Literally, I think it's literally default. The only camera I changed is home plate cam for initial cam view, and pitch cam is home plate cam as well. Action cam is still default wide cam. I haven't changed anything there. The only thing I've changed is initial camera view to HP cam and pitch camera view to HP cam. Everything else has been left alone. Thanks. You're welcome. Welcome in, by the way, Manuli. So that was what happened. So now I got $129,000 in loans. And I worked retail because that's the only thing I could get as somebody going first into the workforce with no experience and no college degree. So my student loans were $750 a month in payments. No, I'm sorry. My loans would have been $900 a month in payments, but I was only making $775. So I called the loan company, and they said, we can put you on an interest-only plan for 2 years. But after the 2 years, your payment will go up because it doesn't shorten the length of the term. It just causes the loan to, all your principals is going to be for the remaining 28 years of the loan. So I had to do that for 2 years. On top of that, I had to call them for forbearance 3 separate times, which is a 3-month period of interest, or where you pay nothing. You literally pay nothing. And then the interest accrues over those 3 months, and you owe it all again at the end of the forbearance period. Otherwise, that capitalizes. So I had to do that 3 times because I was making fucking $7.90 an hour. And that caused my loan to capitalize 3 different times for 9 additional months of interest each time. And that pushed the loan out to $158,000. And, yeah. Eventually, I got a job where I was able to afford the payments. called them up, refinanced it, and paid that off at the end of 2023. Yeah, the end of 2023, I paid off my student loan. So I left college in 2010, I think, was when I left college. May 2010. I paid the loan off in December of 2023. So I'm not American, though, so. But you should always, one thing I would learn from my experience, because I did not know what I was doing because I'm 18 years old, and that's kind of how predatory these things are in the United States. Is that they have no problem running 18-year-olds into hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt and trapping them in loans that are built to further run them into debt. What I would recommend is, if you're going to ever apply for anything that is borrowing money, fixed rate is the only thing you should always go for. Do not go for, they're going to offer you a lower rate, and it's going to be variable, and that's always the introductory rate. And they're going to say, well, interest rates are like 5%. We can offer you 6% on this loan. And that's great, but if it's a variable loan, 3 years down the line, that interest rate's going to be 9%. There's no, and then you're going to be paying through the nose. Always go for the fixed loan. When I tried to refinance, they said, well, the fixed rate is a higher rate. It's like an 8.75% rate. You can get a variable rate that starts at 6.5. I don't care. I'll pay the 2.25% more because that loan is never going to budge from 8.75%. And if interest rates plummet, I can always refinance that again and probably get a lower rate. There is no way I'm going to pay 6.5% on a variable rate, and 3 years into the loan payments, I'm going to be stuck in the exact same position that I was in that caused me to refinance in the first place. Truth, same everywhere. If I could go back and talk to myself, I'd be like, do not ever take credit. You guys have actual regulations, like the way credit scoring and reporting is done in the United States is literally illegal in practically every European country because it's so predatory. So you guys have a lot more consumer protections in place than we do. So do I just ask for a fixed rate and tell them to figuratively fuck off? Essentially, yes. Essentially, yes. Because if you give them the opportunity to adjust your rate every year, that shit never going to go down, dog. That shit's only going one direction. Right. Everett Mills will settle in. Runner on second, 2 down. First pitch to Everett Mills. And that's outside, ball 1. The 1-0. Fanned on 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And that one's missed. It's 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. Grounded over to second, and he's fumbled it. Another fumble by the second baseman. Tom Carey gets his second error of the game. That's the 6th for Boston. And Mills is aboard. Going to third is Waterman. Oh, it's predatory here, too. I just be handed thousands of pounds in credit at 18 with absolutely no questions asked. I wasn't even working at the time. Yeah. When I refinanced the loan, the loan, whatever you call them, not loan officer, but you know what I mean. They were like, oh, well, we could give you a lower rate if you want to take a variable rate. I said, I want a fixed rate. And they were like, well, the fixed rate's going to be a higher percent. It's like 1.75. I said, I don't care. I want a fixed rate. And they were like, well, you're going to be paying more over the life. I said, no, I won't. I want a fixed rate. I said, I'm not going to refinance with you guys unless you offer me a fixed rate. And that's when she, backed down at the third time of telling her. And then she was like, okay, fine. 8.75% is your interest. Okay, cool. Great. Because my loan, when I went into college, my credit, my percentage, I had I think it was a 6 or a 5.5% interest rate. By the time I refinanced that loan, that interest rate was 13%, literally double of what I started with. And I had been paying it off for 10 years by the time. No, I had been paying it off for 6 years by the time I refinanced. So literally within 6 years, they doubled my interest rate. which is why I'm never touching a variable loan ever again. Here's the first pitch to Levy Mayerly, who's 2 for 4 today. That's fouled. It'll be 0-1. So how much does getting into a college in America actually cost? It depends on the college you go to. I went to a Division II school, but the Division II school I went to did a lot of construction, brand new construction. So my first year was $13,009. My second year was My fourth year was $23,000. My sister went to community college for one semester. That cost her $4,500 a semester, which is about $9,000 a year. Chris, it's great to see you, Chris. How are you? So my sister went to 3 colleges, actually, but she went to community for a semester, and that was $4,500. She went to Penn State for 2 years, and that was literally $55,000 a year. So, yeah. That's about it. It really depends on the school. If you go to community college, you're going to pay less than $10,000 a year. But if you go to a big Division I university, you're going anywhere from $40,000 to $70,000 a year. If you're from outside the U.S., it's way more than domestic. So I quoted 6 figures a year to go to college in the U.S. It was over 20 years ago. Yeah, depends on the college as well, though. How you doing, Chris? Great to see you. Here's the 0-1. And that one's off the plate away, 1-1. Chris, I don't know if you celebrated or not, but happy opening week of baseball. Baseball is back. Here's the 1-1. That's high, 2-1. It's the little things like that I like to celebrate in life that keep me fucking sane, because otherwise, if I didn't, I would go insane. Here's the 2-1. That's swung on a miss. It's 2-2. I think everybody should do that. I think everybody should find the little things that bring them joy and the little things that they can look forward to, whether it's the start of a baseball season or going out or having a picnic, whatever. Just find the little joys in that. There's a lot of fun to be had in those little tiny things. Fuck what anybody else would think about it. Because movies until my parents looked into the cost and went, you can't get fun. Yeah, exactly. 2-2. That's popped up. Left field. And left fielder's there. He makes the grab, and the side is retired. 1 run on one hit. 1 run on 1 hit, and they leave 2 aboard. We go to the bottom of the 9th. 12-1 Chicago. It is going to be the 9-1-2 spots due up for the Red Stockings. James McDermott will get things let off for the Red Stockings. I'm going to take the final 30-second timeout because I have to desperately use the restroom. So we'll be back in a minute and a half with the conclusion of the game. Right, welcome back. Chat, I've had a special delivery. For those of you that know anything about the Philadelphia area, I've had a lovely, very lovely Philadelphia soft pretzel. Philadelphia soft pretzel factory soft pretzel. And it tastes amazing. Right. Oscar Bernard on the mound. James McDermott in the batter's box. No. No, it's my parents. I don't live with I don't live with Mrs. Benny. So we're moving towards that, but yeah, no, they went out and they're like, "Oh yeah, they went to Acme." It's like a supermarket chain, and right next to one is a Philly soft pretzel factory. So they're like, "Hey, you want to bring back soft pretzels?" I'm like, "Yeah, hell yeah." So that's tomorrow. That's tomorrow, actually. Although I'll be the one doing the spoiling because her birthday. Yeah. Her birthday was actually like at the beginning of the month or more towards the beginning of the month. But it'll be the first time seeing her since the birthday, so we're having a birthday celebration for her tomorrow, which is really cool. Um, Here's the first pitch from Cherokee Fisher here, bottom ninth. I swung on and missed, 0-1. The 0-1 count. That's inside, 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Off the plate away, 2-1. Here's the 2-1. Grounded back up the middle. The throw on to first is in time. One away. Brings up Bub McAtee. He is 0 for 4 so far today. First pitch. That's high, ball one. 1-0. The 1-0 pitch. He's fouled that off. It'll be 1-1. One pitch on the way. That is ripped into right. Right fielder's back there. And he'll make the catch in deep right. That's 2 down now. And Boston down to the final out. Warren White, who is 1 for 4 today. Here's the first pitch to White. He's fanned at that one, 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Popped it up. Shortstop's coming in for it. He makes the grab, and the ball game is over. Chicago needing to keep pace with Fort Wayne come into Boston and end the 11-game winning streak of the Red Stockings. The final score in this one, the Chicago White Stockings 12, the Boston Red Stockings 1. Huge performance from Chicago. Let's go over the statistics, starting with the visiting Chicago White Stockings. George Betchel had 4 at-bats. He did not get a hit. Everett Mills had 6 at-bats. He had 1 hit. He scored 1 run. He had 1 RBI. He struck out once, and he made a fielding error. Levy Mayerly had 5 at-bats. He had 2 hits, one of which was a double. He scored 1 run. He had 1 base on balls, and he made 2 fielding errors. Gat Stiers, 3 at-bats, 2 hits. 1 was a triple. He had a base on balls. He scored 1 run. He had 3 RBIs. Mart King, 5 at-bats, 1 hit, 1 run. Cherokee Fisher, 5 at-bats, one hit, one run. I'm sorry, two runs, and one fielding error. Charlie Hodes, 3 at bats, 2 hits, one run. I'm sorry, 2 at bats for Charlie Hodes. The ones don't count because it was a sack. So 2 at bats for Charlie Hodes, 1 run, 2 hits, 2 RBIs. Fred Waterman, decent day for the sub. 5 at bats, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 RBI. One of those runs was a double, or one of those hits was a double. Sam Jackson, 3 at bats, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 RBI. Bill Kelly, 1 at bat, no hit, 1 base on balls, 2 runs. Bill Barrett, 2 at bats, no hits. Ed Mincher, 2 at bats, no hits, 1 RBI, 1 strikeout. And Nate Birkenstock, 1 at bat, no hits. Final totals for the Chicago White Stockings: 10, 15, 18, 22, 30, 27, 29, 34, 37, 38, 40, 42. I have 43. They have 44. Where did I miss? Mincher had 2. Mayor Lee had 5. Stiers 3. Birkenstock 1. King 5. Fisher 5. Hodes 2. Kelly 1. Waterman 5. Jackson 3. Barrett 2. Where the hell did I just do the math wrong? 4 is 6 is 10, and 5 is 13, and 3 is 18, and 5 is 23, and 5 is 28, and 2 is 30, and 5 is 35, and 3 is 38, and 1 is 39, and 2 is 41. I did the math wrong. That's what I did. 44. How did Trogdor do? I don't have Trogdor in this save. I don't think we've named anybody Trogdor yet. Although I think Lip Pike is the home run leader at 4. I want to say, and he's with me actually. Right, runs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Hits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have 14. That's correct. Doubles. 2 doubles. Triples. 1 triple. No homers. 2 base on balls. 2 strikeouts. No stolen bases. I did forget to record the sack there on Charlie Hodes, by the way. He had the sack. That is the only sack of the game. RBIs 1, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and fielding errors 4. Proto Trogdor? Is that the prototype? Is that what it is? Nice. Right, for the hometown Boston Red Stockings, Bub McAtee, 5 at-bats, no hits, 1 fielding error. Warren White, 5 at-bats, 1 hit, 1 fielding error. Tom Carey, 4 at-bats, 1 hit, 1 strikeout, 2 fielding errors. Andy Leonard, 4 at-bats, no hits, 1 fielding error. Al Reach, 4 at-bats, 2 hits. Tommy Beals, 3 at-bats, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 base on balls, 1 fielding error. Henry Kohler, 4 at-bats, 1 hit. Joe Benton, 4 at-bats, 1 hit, 1 RBI. The hit was a triple. And Asa Bernard, 2 at-bats, no hits. James McDermott, 2 at-bats, no hits. Final totals for the Boston Red Stockings: 5, 10, 18, 20, 5, 10, 14, 18, 22, 25, 29, 33, 35. I had 37. That's correct. Runs, just the 1. Hits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No doubles, 1 triple, 1 base on balls, 1 strikeout, no stolen bases, no sacks, no RBI, 1 RBI, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fielding errors. Your pitching statistics for Cherokee Fisher: he will be credited with the win. He improves to 9-6, 9-inning pitch. I have his pitch count at 158. I have 1 base on balls, 1 strikeout, 7 hits, 1 run, and yes, it was earned. For the Boston Red Stockings. Asa Bernard, I have going 5 2/3. He's going to be credited with the loss. He drops to 10-3. I have his pitch count at 110. That's correct. 2 base on balls, 1 strikeout, responsible for 12 hits, 8 runs. 6 of them were earned. James McDermott goes 3 1/3. I have his pitch count 64. That's correct. He has no walks, no strikeout, no 1 waste base on balls. I gotta correct the stat over here. This was three base on balls. Okay, so 1 base on balls, no 1 strikeout. Yep, sorry. 2 hits, 4 runs, and not a single one of them was earned because of the errors. Right. Let's leave the game. Immediately save the game. Big win for Chicago. We're going to advance 1 day. I received a personal message, mid-season review of goals. Well done finding an upgrade at right field. Yep, but Lip Pike looks like he'll be a great player. That's in crew. I think you better reconsider. It's not working. Great. I told you I wanted to achieve a winning record. What part of that do you not? Well, we're 10-11, mate. Come on now. Right. My owner's pissed at me. Let's go to the standings. First off, actually, let's go to scores. Do I have to advance another day? I do. And again. Okay. I think that's good. Okay, yeah. Check out who's the Major League Baseball win probability. There you go. Right. So we move forward to the 11th of July. So we're third of the way through July now. Here are your standings in the American League. Boston now 2.5 ahead of Cleveland, who are 10-6. Boston's 12-3. The 11-game winning streak is snapped. And Cleveland's sitting 2.5 back at 10-6. Philadelphia 3.5 back at 10-8. Washington 6.5 back at 7-11. And the Washington Olympics, not only 7-11, but they only have 14 games left in their season. Chicago White Stockings joined Fort Wayne at the top of the National League now. Chicago with 16 played. They have 16 left. Fort Wayne is also level on them at 10-8. With Chicago at 9-7. New York Mutuals are a game back at 8-8. We are a game and a half back at 10-11. The Troy Haymakers are pretty much out of it now. 4-18. They have lost 9 straight. They only have 10 games left in their season. They are literally 2 either Chicago wins or 2 Troy losses away from being, I should say actually 3 Chicago wins, 3 Fort Wayne wins, or 3 Troy Haymaker losses, or any combination of those, away from being mathematically eliminated from the World Series contention. Remember, only the National League winner and only the American League winner are going to get in to the World Series at the end of the season. So we almost have our first team out, and that team is looking like it's going to be the Troy Haymakers. That is the end of the baseball part of today's stream. If you're watching on the YouTube, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you for the next one. Until then, take care.